I think we had a very poor first half in terms of winning our individual battles, the 1v1s. It was too easy. Our organization, we were all over the place. They looked like a World Cup team, and we looked like amateurs. So I think we got a good talking to in the locker room. I think Ash brought some great energy. Mark, of course, came in and basically was like, this is what you guys need to do. But in terms of your effort and winning challenges, like that's not, the coaches can't do anything about that. That's us, that's heart, that's mentality. And we brought it in the second half. Luckily, it wasn't too late. It was too late for the 3 points, and I think those would have been very important 3 points. But thanks to Sid, thanks to an amazing battle there at the end, and Ash coming up big, I think so good to get the point, so good that they didn't come away from our home with 3 points, but it's not good enough. So obviously, for me, I think trying to show some leadership in the back line and win my 1v1 battles. But I am proud of the team, and it allows me to leave, I think, without a bitter taste. Now it's going to be really tough leaving the team tomorrow, but I'm really proud. The subs coming in, I'm so impressed. It's not easy, especially Kylie, Amy just getting here and playing a huge role. Abby, Chelsea, and Crystal and Erica getting a start after, many, many games of not getting a lot of minutes. So I think working with what we have, I'm really proud of the effort, but that first half just isn't good enough.
We're going to go to Julia for the first question. One second, Julia. I have a speaker issue.
Julia. Come in, Julia.
Ryan, can you just mute her line and I'll go out of my computer? Yeah. Julia, try again. Julia, go ahead. Julia, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now, Allie?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much for the time. Congrats on the point tonight. What do you think was missing in that first half? Like you said, was it an individual feeling, or was there something about the way that you guys came out tonight that maybe caused a little bit of that flat-footedness?
No. Oh, sorry. Look, I think we do the work all week. We are prepared. I think the coaches give us the game plan, how to be organized, and we just weren't executing. We were pressing disjointedly. If one person did a high press, and it wasn't the right decision, then all of a sudden the next person was going, and the next person was going, and that's how they scored. They broke our press, and then a dangerous ball in behind. And at this level, teams are good enough to finish on a chance like that. And I think it very much, in terms of not winning 50-50 balls, we want to hold them down one side, and not doing that really, really showed. And that's unacceptable, and it's something we talk about week in and week out. So I do think it was individual, and then it kind of feeds off. Instead of, if one person does it and us all staying compact and holding our grounds, one person does it, then the next person does it, and all of a sudden our team is wide open and broken down. So I think, too, when we're working back, getting broken down, when we don't have the ball, when we do have the ball, everyone has spent so much energy running around in positions they're not supposed to be in, and then it's hard for us to build an effective attack. I think we were giving the ball back too easily. And again, I think these are individual decisions, and then it's a mentality and an attitude, a toughness, and it's also technique. How are you going to win your 1v1 battle? How are you going to prevent a cross? And it's something I think we prided ourselves in the beginning of the season, and we weren't there tonight.
We're going to go to Austin David.
And can I tell the frustration in your voice? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. From this game and just how frustrating it was from your side of things to be able to come away with a point despite how most of it went, how kind of beneficial can that be for this team going forward?
I think that's what's one of the great things about this team. How many times now, unfortunately, this season have we been behind and come back for a tie or even for a win? And that's why I love this team. Even if it's a bad day, even if we're making these errors, we have players who will come up big at the end. It's not, even if it is kind of these individual mistakes, it's not it's not heart. It's not a lack of heart. Sometimes maybe a little lack of brains, but it's not a lack of heart. And that goes a long way with loving being on a team like this and being in it together. And I think just from what I've heard from seasons past, this game would have been, a throwaway. It could have been 1, it could have been 2, it could have been 3. And to come back, like, this is the new Orlando Pride. This is who we are, and we're never going to roll over and die. And it's never over. So I think, we tried to fight back in against North Carolina, against Houston, and then tonight we were able to salvage a point. So again, I love this team, and whatever anyone, can say, whatever I'm saying about the mistakes, about the decision making, this team has so much heart, and this team is a family, and we did stick it out and stick together until the very end, and we got the point, and they did not get 3 points.
We'll go to Luis Carlos Pineda.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think we need to take the grit that we had in the second half and come out like that. I think 1v1s, again, teams are going to look differently now that players are gone. So it's making sure we know what the players who are going to be on the field, what their strengths are, making sure we know who's fast, what foot they play on. Doing that analysis is going to be really important because it's not going to be the same team that we played last time. We're not the same team that was playing last time. So I think cleaning up, I think this will be the perfect game that every player needs to analyze and look what they individually could have done better. And if every player does that, and I know that they will, it'll be a completely different game. But these games are going to be tough, and I think making sure that we're organized will allow us to have a more effective attack. And we need to score goals, ideally a little bit earlier and more than one.
We'll go one more back to Julia.
Kind of looked like tonight more than in past games that she was at times up on an island on herself and just not getting as much fed as she has been in past games. What do you think the team needs to do, especially with Alex and Marta being out, to make sure that the attack is still Sydney and also Taylor and some of those other attackers more effectively?
Yeah, that's one of the things I think we need to be better at in terms of when we do go forward. We have to make sure that the whole team is able to push forward. And if it's coming a counter and we've been defending and maybe, Gunny has been really low or Maggie and Gunny have been high and then running low, we have to make sure when we build an attack that we're being smart about it. And that will give Sid, Taylor the time to combine. And I think, yes, there's the counter options when we go direct and finding Sid, and that's one of her strengths, to get in behind. And we did have a couple chances like that tonight. But when they're all alone and there's 2 people on them, it's really, really hard. I think we do need to be better at reading the second balls. So sometimes we're playing balls into Sid, or at the end, when we know we have to go direct, we've got to get the team up to get those second balls, because every time we play it up there, it's not necessarily expected that Sid is going to dribble by 2 players and score. It's making them drop, and then how can we win the second ball? Or if she brings the ball down, who's going to be there with the next line following through? So I think that's something we need to improve on. But again, that's going to come from not defending and running around like headless chickens and losing our battles, because that takes so much energy, and we win it and suddenly people are not in the places we expect them to be in. So I hope that Sid, that we are able to find that support. I think it was nice to have Erica and Crystal, who are good dribblers, and that brings us something a little bit different to have them on the sides. But it doesn't help if, yes, people are going to be so isolated. I do think we could probably cross more. We had Gunny higher getting in the box. We need to be technically better. But too, yeah, I think we do need to have more options and more support up there. And that's, again, decision making. Is it on to go long? Is it on? Can you read the play if someone's going long, that you can come in and support them? So those are definitely things to think about, and is a little bit different when you don't have the front 3 that we've played with for most of the season.